Hey everybody, and welcome back for another deep dive.
Okay.
This time,
Okay.
we're looking at a passage
All right.
on fasting, but maybe not how you typically think about it.
Right.
We're going to be diving into Isaiah 58.69.
Okay.
And, this passage kind of flips the script
Right.
on the concept of fasting.
How so?
Well, it's not just about giving up food or anything like that. Instead, it focuses on a fast.
Mm-hmm.
That's all about action and justice.
I like that.
Yeah.
Action and justice.
It really challenges how we usually think of fasting.
Yeah. Yeah, it really does.
Like, it's not about inward denial this time.
Mm-hmm.
It's about outward service. It's about actively engaging with the needs of the world around us.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And the passage uses some pretty powerful imagery, right? It talks about loosening the chains of injustice.
Yes.
And untying the cords of the yoke.
It does.
But what does that actually look like in practice?
Well, let's think about it. Imagine a single mother struggling to feed her family, sharing your food with her, providing financial assistance, or even advocating for, better social programs.
Yeah.
These are all ways to loosen the chains of injustice and to reflect God's compassion in a tangible way.
So it's not just these grand gestures or whatever.
Right.
It can be everyday acts of kindness.
Absolutely.
Support too.
This fast is about recognizing the inherent dignity of every person and responding with tangible support, no matter how big or small the action.
That's a good point. I like that. And there's this quote from the source material. It says, "These acts aren't just physical responses, but spiritual ones, reflecting a heart that seeks to align with God's character." So it's not even just about helping people. It's about something deeper. It's a reflection of our faith.
This type of fasting is about embodying God's compassion and justice in the world. It's about becoming the hands and feet of God's love.
Okay, so here's where I think it gets really interesting. The passage goes on
Right?
to describe incredible blessings. It's associated with this kind of fasting. It says, "Your light will break forth like the dawn. Your healing will appear quickly." There's even a promise of protection and answered prayers.
Oh.
I have to admit, this sounds a little bit like prosperity gospel to me. I'm a little skeptical.
I understand your skepticism. It's crucial to approach these promises with discernment. It's not about a transactional exchange with God,
Okay.
where we perform good deeds to earn blessings.
Right.
Instead, it's about recognizing that when we align ourselves with God's heart for justice, we become participants in God's redemptive work. That participation brings about transformation, not just for individuals, but for communities as a whole. It's about a holistic flourishing that comes from living in alignment with God's will.
That's a really helpful way to frame it. So it's not about a reward system or anything. It's about the natural outflow of living in alignment with God's character.
Exactly.
And thinking about, action and faith. Makes me think about something James said.
Oh, yeah.
Faith without works is dead. This concept of this fast really embodies that idea.
It does.
It's not enough to just believe.
Yeah.
True faith requires action, love,
Yeah.
and service.
I like that.
Yeah, that connection to James makes a lot of sense. So
Yeah.
how does this all apply to our listeners today?
That's a great question.
This passage feels like a pretty strong call to action.
It absolutely is. It challenges each of us to examine our spheres of influence.
Okay.
Where can we loosen the chains of injustice in our families, our communities, our workplaces?
Right.
What seemingly small acts of service can we do that might have a ripple effect we never see?
It's a powerful thought that even small acts can make a difference.
It's true.
It's not always about grand gestures. It's about consistently weaving compassion and justice. It's into our daily lives.
Precisely.
This kind of fasting isn't a one-time event. It's a way of life. It's about asking ourselves, how can I embody God's compassion and justice in this moment, in this interaction, in this decision?
I love that.
That's a great takeaway for our listeners to ponder. This deep dive has been really eye-opening.
Good.
It's challenged me to think about fasting in a whole new light. It's not just about abstaining. It's about actively living out our faith through acts of justice, compassion, and love.
And remember, it's not just about the big visible acts, it's about those everyday choices and interactions where we can choose to loosen the chains of injustice no matter how small they may seem.